Can anybody just reply whether are you able to listen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Then we'll start. I hope my screen is also visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we will be discussing on the leadership styles in continuation with the previous class. We have seen different aspects of the leadership. We have seen the qualities. We have seen the skills. See, leadership has a very broad scope when we talk about leadership styles. See, these leadership styles are very different in the sense that there is a wide variety of fellows where we can observe. Since if we observe in day-to-day life, also you can experience that there are different styles. See, we cannot say that this particular leadership style will suit for the organization. That is the reason why the leadership is considered as a complex because sometimes as leaders we don't know whether we will be leading within the capacity of any of our responsible role. In another situation, few leadership styles point to focus who led. See, some styles they reward you only after you have met a certain objective or goal. So, for example, you are in an office, right? You are in an office, and some of your employee from your organization is on vacation, right? So, one style of leadership will make sure that the concerned person reaches the milestone before he gets that vacation. There is one style of leadership. That means somebody is trying to finish off the employee's objective or goal on behalf of that employee. See, in your professional life, you will either experience this kind of responsibilities. We call these responsibilities as leadership responsibilities. Or sometimes you may witness such kind of leaders also. Right? Having a good leader is a blessing. Having a good leader is a blessing, especially in the organizations. Even among your group also, if you have a good leader, then you are blessed, right? Because he will lead you to achieve the success. Most of the leaders in today's industry they adopt the leadership roles as they see whichever it fits because there is no specific formula which predefines a certain leadership or a type of a leader for that matter because this leadership style does not have anyone to know a thing or to about leadership before actually performing that role within any capacity. So here in this presentation today we will be discussing certain leadership styles. Once again I am telling you it is not mandatory that organization they should have this kind of leadership styles. As I told you, it is very complex. It is very complex. So let me discuss certain styles, uh, and also I don't say that these are the only styles. There may be more than this. Right? As per the industry trends, we are able to find different kind of leaders in the environment. Right? So let me begin the presentation. So here is a first leadership style which is called visionary leadership style. See, visionary, the name itself it suggests that these leaders are motivated by the end result. These leaders imagine a thriving business, lots of workforces, and anything that has to do with the success of the highest. Most of the times, visionary leaders they will be thinking like that they want to start something new in the industry. See, they have a very good quality. Always they try to push through when the times are tough. We need this kind of leaders. We call them as visionary leaders because they do focus on the big picture and they are with the consistent mindset because consistency is another important aspect where sometimes even visionaries also they fail. Right? We have seen many people fail at being visionary leaders. I will say that there is no harm in focusing on the big picture. But as a visionary leader, we should be aware of what kind of the hurdles, shortcomings, setbacks. Most importantly, we need to know the industry where you are about to introduce because you wanted to introduce a new thing into the industry. Right? Somebody has unmuted. Next style, we talk about the bureaucratic leadership. The bureaucratic leadership, it is an amazing leadership style which runs on the condition that everyone plays by the book, as per the rule, as per the guidelines, everybody has to perform. If you observe that image, right, to reach that particular place, for each individual has to go in the proper direction to reach to the center of that place. Because there are certain conditions that everyone has to play. The focus of the leaders using this leaders type style is on the roles within the ranks of the company and make sure that each employee of the company has fixed roles and responsibilities. Sometimes these rules and roles might have laid down decades ago, but as a true bureaucratic leader, we are bound to follow the examples of your predecessors as they were successfully using these rules. If you observe the Indian industry, the top companies which are run by the family members, if you observe them, they are performing the same role which are performed by the predecessors. So, this kind of leadership style can be used in the areas where there is little room for flexibility. Right? So, using this leadership, we can contain the situation from the first day and we can lead our team without any obstacles or without blocking progress. Most of the times we can see this kind of leadership style in the healthcare organizations, government organizations, finance departments or finance oriented organizations. Right? Moving to the next leadership style, that is directing leadership. This particular style which makes us to stay on track when everything has been decided and there is no room for flexibility. In this leadership style, every day, every day, the leaders guide their team with a large amount of confidence and certainty because they have perfected their vision for the work, project, activity, or task. Because everything, everything unanimously agreed by all the stakeholders who are connected to this particular project. That's why if you observe the image, see the only one person who is leading the entire team with a lot of confidence and certainty, that means with knowing the things that has to happen. So he started leading the team. That's why this particular style named as directing leadership style. Most of the times this style is used in the situation where the development team is not that experienced and they need and the team needs someone to supervise on behalf of the team to take the decisions and while showing them the way to success. See, every time the leader does not, the leader, what he does that by defining the roles and the responsibilities of the team and the team members. It's not just defining the roles and responsibilities. As a leader, we need to monitor, supervise their activities so that they don't get confused and they don't lose their way. That's why directing leadership That's why it is named as directing leadership. Moving to the next leadership style, that is paternal and maternal leaders. See, what is this term? Paternal refers to a male figure in a leadership position. Maternal denotes female leaders. See, one thing, yes, somebody opened their mic. Okay, so paternal refers to male, maternal refers female. Here, the authority comes with their ability to play both paternal or maternal roles. Oftenly, subordinates envision their leader as a leading fatherly or motherly figure in a company. I think you might have also observed this kind of situations, right? Like a father is leading all the team, like a mother, like a mother, she is leading the entire team. Sometimes we observe these things because this particular style mostly applies to family businesses, because the style of leadership focuses more on practical and ground based work, right? It enables the leaders to pay devoted attention to people in a company. Whatever their recommendations and their feedback is there. Because it is very progressive and successful in the countries like India, if we observe. Because in this style of leadership, we have an advantage, because at any kind of condition, we can survive. Any adverse effects are also there, still we can survive. In that situations, we can expect this kind of leaders will lead, and they will be leading for a long time. Definitely, they will lead for a long time. If you observe the image here, there is no difference between the team members and the leader. That way, he is trying to make the members as the leaders also, because after some days they have to lead the family business. Right? So, another important leadership style is the situational leadership. These leaders, situational leaders, have a very strong intuition. Some will say that it is their gut feeling, because these leaders, they can easily adapt and they can improvise according to the changing circumstances in a tough competitive market. They may choose the right style, they may take a right decision at the right time, and they are able to seize the moment. What makes the situation leadership last long? See, situation, that's why One Minute Manager, there is a popular book on how to become 1 minute manager, which talks about the situational leaders, because this kind of leadership style we observe very rarely, because we can say this is nothing but a dynamic leadership style, because you should change your behavior, you should change your how you are addressing the situations differently and make decisions at the right as per the situations you have to change. That's why we call this as a situational leadership. Another one is a participative leadership. It is also known as facilitative leadership, because if you observe here in this image, see there is a battery and four bulbs who are representing. In this kind of style, leaders, they are not only leading but they are also offering equal participation opportunities. That's why he is also part. He is also participating. If you observe most of the multinational companies now, they follow participative leadership method, because in this method they get different identified ideas if there is any problem exists in the organization. Because why we got this privatization and the decentralization? Because of this participative leadership. This form of leadership distributes more power to the people by offering them a platform for voicing their opinions. Right? So, moving to the next leadership style, transformational leadership. Normally, this kind of leaders, transformational leaders, they step up the ladder once they are employed in a small position. If you might have observed one or two people in your surroundings are known to you who get promoted and acquire the responsibilities, like in the level of a manager or any other senior levels in the hierarchy of the organization. These people are transformational leaders. Right? Here, there is a one important element we need to keep in our mind. So we call it as brown nosing. What do we call? We call it as brown nosing. Favoritism. In the organization, certain employee, if you observe, whenever a senior management or management of the organization, if they visit, immediately this particular person will stick to them. Whenever the management walks in, right, sticking to them. No one likes this kind of a person, because if you are like this, your fellow members will talk behind you and you will be outcasted. Right? You are only going to be a self proclaimed transformational leader who will recognize no one else. Right? So be careful with this kind of leadership style. Moving to the next important style, transactional leadership. See, this is one kind of leadership style where leader sets an effort versus rewards. Effort versus rewards. See, they are good leaders. Sometimes they can also punish you if you are not performing or if you are an underperformer. See, the one of the worst kind of this leader, he who holds employees against their will to turn in a submission or meet a deadline for the top management's benefit. See, one good thing about the transactional leadership is hook or crook, they will get the work done because they set some incentives. They motivate the employees. They ask the employees to do their best. See what's happening here? Reward system. If you do the work, you will get the carrot. So two members will get the quantity. Four members, the quantity will be more. If you can share lot of rewards, though the team is big, right? Another leadership style, servant leadership style. See, servant leaders are humble. They lead by example. They put their company and employees ahead of personal agendas. Because this type of leaders are very rare. They practice power sharing modes of authority. Always a servant leader will push us to new levels of skill or responsibilities. Because servant leaders, they see the potential in others. What is your potential? Sometimes they lack the authority also. Why it is a best leadership style? Because you are connected to your colleagues, you are connected to your teams, your fellows. Because when you are trying to increase your loyalty among your fellows. Only the thing is that if you have any conflict of interest, then there is a problem. Otherwise, everything is good with the servant leadership style. Another important leadership style is the autocratic. This is an integral part of leadership. This kind of leaders are focused on a result oriented approach. They mostly make decisions alone, right? They don't trust anyone easily, and they also expect others to be just as passionate about how they are working as they are. Have you observed the military commanders? They are the best example for the autocratic leadership, right? S- Suppose if an organization has strict policies, guidelines, then an autocratic leader will best suited for this kind of organizations where there is strict policies, procedures, strict guidelines are there because they try to exercise those things that the employees or other stakeholders are not deviated from what they have planned, what is there in their policy. If you observe this particular image, right, what you will get? Democratic leadership style. See, we all know what democracy means, what it all stands. The same concept is applied in the business environment, right? And this particular style, where it is like a mix of autocratic leader, we can observe some autocracy also, right? But one good thing about the democratic leadership style is democratic leaders, they foster the discussion, participation, right? I don't say that they are completely autocratic, but still they encourage their fellow team members to take initiative and outperform wherever that is possible. So other leadership styles that we have is the strategic leadership. So strategic leadership is an ability to influence others, to make decisions and enhance the prospects of the organization in the long term, right? Laissez-faire leadership, it is a French word that means let them do. Otherwise, we say let it be. In this leadership style, the managers or team leads delegate their responsibilities to the actual people working, because this helps the team to get the work done on their own terms as quickly as possible without any interference, because this is the only leadership style where the teams will get the maximum amount of flexibility and the scope for the innovation is available with this kind of leadership. Charismatic leadership, I say that this particular leadership style is totally depend on the amount of the charisma he or she has in inspiring the more people, because they they work more effectively and they benefit the company, because this kind of leaders, they inspire us, they energize the employees and they motivate the people who are working under them, and it is one of the successful technique also. One thing is that not everyone is naturally charismatic, but you can learn to be more motivational and inspiring, which will help the people not just in your work but also in your personal life. Pace setter leadership is the one where the work is speed oriented. That's why it's named as pace setter. We see this kind of leadership style in certain work environments where the work and time deadlines are not defined, and a lot of different elements are needed to be altered in the real time. You know that this is one of the leadership style which seems like the people are being grilled to do more work without any recognition. This kind of leaders always they push their employees, but they do in which employees are inspired into doing more work. Right? So these are not only the leadership style that exists, but also we have other leadership styles. The only question after this presentation is, which is the best leadership style? Which is the best leadership style? We need to consider, we need to practice, we need to follow, we need to adopt, and which is the right leadership style for the organization. We cannot decide as it is very complex. So these two questions are left for the discussion, whether which is right, which is wrong, which is the best, which is the best, right?